Hello everyone, Salvete omnes! Welcome to Stage 27 Grammar. This video will be in two parts. Part 1 is going to be devoted to indirect commands, and Part 2 to result clauses. These are going to be two new uses of the subjunctive that we're going to add to circumstantial clauses, indirect questions, and purpose clauses. So sit yourself down, put on your seatbelt, grab your snacks, and let's do this. Let's get started in English. A direct command is something that you're already familiar with. Do your homework. Clean your room. Sit down. Be quiet. Zip the lip. Direct commands, somebody ordering you to do something. We have them in Latin as well. They're called imperatives. Audite. Listen, y'all. Tacete. Be quiet, y'all. Abi. Go away. Desine. Stop it. Noli desperare. Don't despair. So there's what a direct command in Latin looks like. Let's look at indirect commands then in English. An indirect command is going to be something like, Mom instructed me to take out the trash. Dad ordered me to clean the floor. The teacher commanded us to be quiet. Each of those instances has a direct command or request being reported or referred to indirectly. The direct command for the first example would have been, take out the trash. For the second one, clean the floor. For the third one, be quiet. But here we have an indirect command. A few quick examples in Latin would look like this. Centurio mihi imperavit ut tacerem. The centurion ordered me to be silent. Legatus militibus imperavit ut redirent. The commander ordered the soldiers to return. Nemo ancillae persuadere poterat ut saltaret. Nobody was able to persuade the slave girl to dance. All right, let's focus now on how to recognize these bad boys. Okay, we got 3 steps here. A lot of information to take in. Take a look. For an indirect command, you're going to have a main verb and a subjunctive verb. The main verb is going to be a verb of ordering or commanding or advising or begging or warning or persuading. A lot of examples here. And so here you have the list. Impero, persuadeo, moneo, postulo, rogo, mando, oro, hortor, eubeo, and peto. Take a look at the list. There may be one or two that you're not familiar with. Maybe hortor is a new one, and we'll learn more about that one later in the Green Book. Perhaps postulo is one you haven't seen in a while, but these are all verbs of ordering, encouraging, begging, asking, even warning somebody to do something. The next thing you're going to see in an indirect command is an ut, much like the ut in the purpose clause, like in order to, in order that, or possibly a ne, which is in order that something not happen. So somebody could order you to do something, or somebody could order you not to do something. Now, last but not least, these are subjunctive clauses, and so you're going to have a verb in the subjunctive. All right? So that's how you're going to recognize an indirect command. A verb of ordering plus ut or ne, followed by the subjunctive. So some examples now. Centurio militibus imperavit, ut modestum et strythionum caparent. The centurion ordered the soldiers in order that they capture Modestus and Strythio, or more idiomatically in English, he ordered them to capture Modestus and Strythio. Number 2. Strythio coco persuasit, ut cenam splendidam pararet. Strythio persuaded the cook to prepare a splendid dinner. So the order would have been, prepare a splendid dinner. The indirect command is Strythio persuaded the cook to prepare a splendid dinner. You can see how these indirect commands come in handy. Number 3, were cobrix Britannos incitabat ut castra Romana opugnarent. Where cobrix was kind of urging or encouraging or inciting the Britons to attack the Roman camp. And then last but not least, mei amici me monuerant, ne te amarem. Here we have a negative indirect command with the ne. My friends advised me not to love you. Aw, that sounds like a sad story. Right, so there we have lots of indirect commands there. The verb of ordering, or persuading, or encouraging, or advising, followed by an ut, or a nay, and then followed by a subjunctive verb. Notice that all of these subjunctive verbs in these examples, caparent, pararet, opugnarent, amarem, are all imperfect subjunctive verbs. You're not likely to see the pluperfect subjunctive here. It doesn't quite make sense for somebody to order you to have done something. All right? Okay, so hopefully you got that down. Definition, recognition, translation of indirect commands. We're going to move on now to result clauses, which means you probably need to pause, flip your paper over, grab some more snacks. Here we go. Result clauses, also known as yo mama clauses. Okay, let's find out what that's all about. Some English examples of result clauses. I was so tired that I fell asleep next to the teacher. It could also be said, I was so tired that as a result, I fell asleep next to the teacher. You probably see where we're going with this. He was driving so carelessly that he backed up into a wall. Oh, goodness. There were so many students at the Latin Club meeting that I couldn't count them all. Oh, wouldn't that be great? And then you can see why these are called yo mama clauses. They're kind of the same thing that you hear in yo mama jokes. Your mother is so fat that, and I'm sure you can fill in the blank there. Maybe we'll share some in class. But let's stick to the grammar notes here. The definition of a result clause is that a result clause sets out what happened because of some previous action or event. In other words, as a result of a previous action or event, what happened? So I was so tired with the result that I fell asleep. He was driving so carelessly with the result that he backed up into a wall. And then finally, there were so many students. What was the result? I couldn't count them all. All right. So they're easy to spot. They are crazy easy to spot. But you have to pay attention to the signal word. In the main clause of a result clause, that is to say before the ut, you're going to have a word like tantus, tantum, talus, tot, sic, tam, ita, or adeo, and you can take a look at the definitions of these words, and they all mean something along the lines of so great, so much, such, so many, so, and so on. Now, I've got a little song for you here for these. It goes to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it goes, tantus, tantum, talus, tot, sic, tam, ita, adeo. We'll probably sing it in class more than once, but these are the signal words to recognize a result clause. These are kind of like, guess what's coming? A result clause. Promise you, here it comes, here it comes. And then what happens next is you get the ut. Or if you're saying that the result was something didn't happen, you're going to get ut known. That's different from the nay that you have in indirect commands and purpose clauses. Now finally, the verb in the result clause itself, that is to say after the ut, will be in the subjunctive mood. Deep breath. Tantus, tantum, talus, tot, sic, tam, ita, adeo, result clause. Here come the examples. Cur tam insanus eram ut tibi crederem. I think this was Agricola talking about Salvius. Why was I so insane that I believed you? So there's the tam introducing the result clause. I was so crazy. How crazy was I? I was so crazy that I believed you. Second example, modestus erat adeo stultus ut numerare non posset. Modestus was so dumb that he was not able to count. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? There's the adeo introducing the result clause. Tantus erat clamor ut nemo iusa centurionis audiret. So great was the clamor or the shouting